Today we're going to talk about how cleaning out your freezer at the end of summer is going to help you save money on your groceries. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries. Our grocery budget for our family is $135 per person, and there's just 2 of us here at the house. So for the last 18 months or so, we have only spent $270 a month on groceries. Now, we are college-age parents and foster parents, so our family size varies depending on what season of life we are in, but that is the same grocery budget we've been able to stick to for many, many years now. If you didn't know, the average family is throwing over 40% of the food that they're buying away in the garbage can. And a lot of that is fresh produce and leftovers that are never getting eaten in the fridge. But the freezer is also a huge culprit for food going bad. So something I think is really important, especially at the end of summertime, is to look into your freezers and see what items need to be used up. I love that time right as the summer is starting to end and we're going into fall, but we still have some nice days. We live in the Seattle area, so it can be sunny one day and really rainy and cold the next, but I try to utilize those nice days to use up some of those summer meals as we're moving into fall. So some of the things that I was pulling out of the freezer to show you in this video, but that I also need to think about using up, is I had some mangoes here that are frozen. That's not something I really want to eat in the middle of winter time. And so I want to make sure that I make some mango smoothies or some mango coconut curry. And we just filmed a video on how to preserve basil, so it's in my freezer, and that is a great thing to have all winter long. But it also feels like a summer kind of item to make sure that you are putting away this year's harvest so you can use it whenever you want to. I have some bread items here that have been in the freezer, some for as long as a couple months and some that were a newer purchase. I want to make sure that I'm using up these hoagie rolls that have been hanging out for a couple months in the freezer. I want to make some French tips or something pretty soon to use these. I like to rotate bread out of the freezer about once every 3 months, so I kind of keep an eye on how much I have accumulated in my freezer. These hoagie rolls I love getting in the summertime. They're only $1 and they're really great to be able to pack up and take on picnics or outings. I just purchased this bag of hamburger buns. Now, the hamburger buns we do use in the summertime making hamburgers, but I also use them in the wintertime making sloppy joes. So I'm not as worried keeping these in the freezer for a couple more months, but they were just purchased. So I'm always really aware of making sure that I'm keeping these bread items rotated so they don't go bad. And since we're talking about this one that has been in there for a couple months, you can see that there's a little bit of freezer ice on the bottom of it. When I go to defrost these, I'm going to shake this out in the sink to make sure that ice gets out of the bag. And then I will let this sit on the counter, but that way they don't get all soggy as they defrost. And whenever I'm getting meat, I like to be able to get it in the plastic airtight containers whenever I can, over a styrofoam container that has the plastic wrap over it. When you're putting those into the freezer, they don't last very long. So that is something else to check for. If you have any styrofoam containers in the refrigerator, to start using those. They will only last in the freezer for about 3 months. We have a ton of videos on this channel. We will make sure to list them in the descriptions, talking about how I organize a stand-up freezer and a chest freezer with tons of tips. So make sure that you're checking out those extra videos that we have linked in the description. So remember to shop your freezer before you go grocery shopping and plan your meals around things that you already have. As we are moving into this next season of our lives, we're not only moving into fall, but we are actually moving houses, and I can't wait to be able to start making a ton more videos on batch cooking freezer meals to help you get through those fall and winter months.